All right. Well, let me ask you about the other people who are talking about running. Jerry Patterson considers himself quite a conservative fellow, as you well know. And Susan Combs is a prolific fundraiser, has run very successful races statewide. You expect both of those two to be challengers in the lieutenant governor's race?
I don't think they will, do you, Evan?
Well, I do think they will. Do you think they will?
Look, I welcome any and all competition in running
You're
for
the only
lieutenant
formally
governor.
declared candidate at the moment.
That's exactly right. And whoever the candidates are, I look forward to a vigorous debate on how we can make certain we move our state forward and solve the challenges that we have today.
Is Comptroller Combs' candidacy for lieutenant governor compromised in any way by the data breach that we've all read about at the Comptroller's office over the last several weeks?
I have never seen an issue written on by every major news organization in the state of Texas and nationally criticizing the way that problem was handled the way it was. It is a very serious issue. The personal identity of 3.5 million people has been compromised. We don't know today to what extent. There are emails that have not been released. The Attorney General is investigating. The FBI is investigating.
What emails are you referring to that have not been released?
There was a news article about certain emails that have not been released in a request for public information.
You're referring to the Patty Hart story this morning in the Hearst papers?
No, I think that one today.
Today, because that did have emails.
Those did release the fact that there was an attempt to divert the problems by blaming it on other agencies.
Blaming the agencies that...
That's not the type of leadership that we need for Texas. It is very unfortunate. It is very serious. I've received letters as head of an agency, letters as a state employee. My employees have at the Department of Agriculture.
Has your information personally been compromised?
I got a letter.
You did?
And who knows what really happened. I had one employee that told me yesterday they never received a letter, they never was contacted, and they continuously reading the information about this, finally they called in and said their data was in fact disclosed.
But they never received the letter.
But they never received
So
the letter.
had you been the comptroller in this case, would you have stepped forward on day one as the comptroller did about a week later, and would you have taken personal responsibility for this?
It is very important that leaders step forward and show leadership when you know something happened.
So you would have stepped forward and taken personal responsibility?
I think when you're driving down the street and you see someone's house on fire and flames coming out the window, you don't need to drive around the block for 2 weeks and figure out who started the fire. You need to go in there and get the people out of the house.
Is her candidacy compromised?
It's a very serious issue, and the voters will have to determine the impact on that.
How do you get to the right of Jerry Patterson?
Who's saying that Jerry Patterson's to the right of anybody?
I don't know. I'm asking you. Do you think that? How are you more the most conservative candidate in the race if Patterson's in the race?
If you look at the legislative voting history of any current elected statewide official that has been scored while they've been in the legislature, I've got the most conservative voting record. I'm the only one that's gotten a Fighter for Free Enterprise Award by the Texas Association of Business, a Civil Justice Leadership Award by Texans for Lawsuit Reform. I have consistently reflected what I think to be the values and interests of the people of Texas, and I've done it in a way that has helped resolve big issues. Carrying the workers' compensation reform bill while I was in the Senate was no small task, but it was an important thing to do to make certain that we can continue to add jobs to this state. The last time it was taken up, Governor Bullock had to threaten to suspend the 2/3 rule in order to get it passed through the Senate. We got it with 31 votes. It wasn't easy, but I did it in a way that maintained my values and what I think the conservative values of the people of Texas are, but I did it in a way that let everyone have a say in the process.
Do you have any concern about a member of the Senate elected by his or her peers to be the interim lieutenant governor, assuming that you get your wish and Governor Dewhurst becomes Senator Dewhurst? We may be looking at Lieutenant Governor Ogden or Lieutenant Governor Nelson or Lieutenant Governor Corona. You have any concern about that person going into a race like this one with an incumbent's advantage?
No.
Because?
I don't. I think I am the best person to serve in 2014 for lieutenant governor. I think I have.
Regardless of circumstance?
Absolutely. All 31 members of the Senate are great folks. I've served with many of them. I think they're very talented. But I've served in a statewide capacity. I've served in both the House and the Senate and local office. And I'm prepared to meet the challenges that we have in this great state.